Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking. Supposedly, guaranteed, this one actually is not supposedly, ocean slash industrial age concepts translated first by Japanese scholars and then borrowed and inherited. And now everybody in simplified traditional Chinese or using these versions of translation simply because Japanese scholars are the first ones from the East Asia to embrace and to look at the concepts from another culture and to map it onto this East Asian culture that share the same kind of characters. So, 革命, leather life. Well, I guess this leather is a noun, but here we almost look at it from the point of view of to make a leather. So leather making. And leather making means involve killing the animal and have all the animal body parts lay out like this. It's kind of a, if you think too much about it, it's pretty gnarly picture of what humans do to animals just to benefit humans themselves because we want their leather, we want their skin. So we have to kill that animal and get their skin for our own use. It's very selfish and bloody. But that's what this word is about, this 革. Even if we end up using it as only the leather, and we as a consumer, we don't really think much about how leather comes to our, even if nowadays it's synthetic leather, but the root of things, the original way of doing things is the leather from the animal skin. And plus the life character. We have seen this life imagery introduced it before. It's life in multiple ways. But here, this life can mean biological life or way of life, style of life, societal level of life, right? How a society exists, how they operate. So 革命 involves this bloody rebellion of the life, the old way of life, the old way of governing, and treat that life as the object to the skin of. So it's like to kill the old, to get the leather out of it, and to have a revolution. So this is how Japanese translate revolution. I guess revolution probably first came from French, right? They are the initial revolutionists, and that spread across Europe, change, and then East Asia carried over. Communism happened in Russia, and Japan took a different route, and China is kind of a battling ground of this different ideologies, both originated from Europe, right? Capitalism, communism, the two main branches, and then China inherited and end up choosing one way. And that revolution was kind of a major, is another theme song, like another major vocabulary that we use as a lingo to paint a picture for, the latecomers. When we enter the world, when things already happened. And so how you tell the story of what happened, right? And this 革命 was painted almost like capitalism is the stage associated with the industrialization, right? So there is this humans, machine, this capital and the labor oppression tension there. And the solution for that is to have a revolution so that you have the right go back to people, to have this communism, this utopian society built up. So that was the story. And that 革命 was the way to achieve that utopian result. And I guess till today, people are still rebelling against the capitalism oppression. And it still happens. It's not a perfect world, but the result of capitalism versus communism, like how each society organized and what's the end result in the global age, in the the new geopolitical tension, 2025, we can kind of see like neither is a perfect system. And I guess through general, I'm not like a solution provider. I have no clue as to the ideal way to organize the society, not to benefit the few, but everybody have a chance, at least to have a chance, right? So revolution, I guess, still resonate today and still in full use today. We can still see that occasionally in the protest form. Probably not as bloody as 100 years ago, but that's how Japanese scholars first map it onto the Chinese concept. So, okay, 格, I guess I'll draw it a little bit. So this is supposedly like the horn of the ox, because I mean leather most likely came from the cow leather. And then the middle part looks like the mouth symbol with horizontal line. That's a pile, supposedly. I mean, according to scholars, that's the pile of skin. That's the end goal. That's what we get from the animal. That we took their skin, and this is this pile of that. I mean, it's one version of interpret it. And this is, I guess, the torso, what's remain of the animal. This part probably is the tail, and then some other things in there that I cannot fully explain. But that's, I guess, a little bit of reverse engineering, because we know we end up inherit this character. In today's language, it means leather. And even if it's about how we get the leather making, the butchering, the deskinning process, all that in this imagery, we try to explain what that is, right? So if we regard it as imagery, then the middle part is the skin we got, and then the rest of them are head, tail, the rest of the bones and bodies, the remains of the cow. So it's still a pretty bloody imagery. And I currently don't have a better version of what that is, except that when you see this pointy thing, it's almost like puncturing through. So there's some pain involved. All right, so this is the triangle that occurs in many Chinese language characters. That means gathering of things. And it can also be, if we look at it at a more abstract terms, it will be the hierarchy of the society, the pyramid. And the mouth symbol on the left, and a person kneeling symbol on the right. So here, this person symbol is a side profile view of a very obedient, submissive person, supposedly kneeling, at least like bending the knee and in submission. And the mouth symbol is the one who is giving the order. And the person who is in submission is the one receiving the order. So right there, the two party, one is the instruction or the order giver, the other one is the receiver. There's two imbalance of power right there. Like who is the boss here, basically, right? The mouse represent the boss. Then there is a gathering of this, the societal gathering of this. And eventually this character means life. So the life, almost like this mouse symbol, we can regard it either as the societal pressure to tell individuals we're in submission to that, to live the script of somebody else, the social expectations. And gathering means it's not just one-time deal. It could be like sequentially, a whole cases of many, many people following the instruction of societal expectation, or individual following over time the societal expectation. Or the mouse symbol could be somebody else in this hierarchy of society, like somebody else who is on the cherry on the tip, the top of the whole structure. So there is power imbalance there. How to spend your life in the Chinese interpretation, almost like which voice, how you're going to listen to that voice, whose script you're following, your own or the societal or somebody who is in power tell you how to live your life. So that's a big question Chinese posed to the rest of us, the language users. And we can regard it as way of life. And Chinese also translate it as destiny. It's your life script, like how you make meaning, how you orient yourself through life. So this is the kind of life. And then 革命, this bloody dissecting of the animal just to get the skin. So we're de-skinning to get the leather, and de-skinning of this kind of way of life, the way you follow this systematic order, either from the divinity or somebody, I mean, normally it's from somebody in power, right? Somebody who framed your worldview already and tell you how to live it. So this skinning of that is the concept of Japanese scholars created to translate revolution. And we notice all of these people who are voicing out their discontent or their what they want, hold the feast. So I guess the feast, this gesture, also become a body language association to, to illustrate what a revolution would look like. All right, thank you for your time. See you another day.